Uncle Chunt'd.
Oi, welcome back to my channel. Today, I just want to go over some pickups that arrived today for various reasons and locations. One, I have to say thanks to Will Kemp out there for sending through the big one. I know you said you're cleaning out your cupboard and you had some stuff that you wanted to send, but damn. Thanks, man. It's really cool. So yeah, let's just get into it. Yeah, so look, I've been trying to track down some more obscure comics because there's a few characters that I actually really dig that are really obscure DC characters. And look, those of you who collect comics, you're aware that it can be really shit. Especially if you're in Australia, because shipping costs are just obscene on eBay, just in general. But I was having a look at some of these comics on eBay, and the shipping alone is worth, you're going to be paying 3, 4, 5 times more than what these comics are. Like some of these in particular were like $5 each, maybe $3 each, and the postage on some of them were like $30, and I'm like, what? I think not, my friend. So I popped onto a Facebook group in Australia. I never really look into that stuff, but I probably will more now going forward. And a couple of legends on there are just like, oh yeah, we've got all the 3 of those ones that you're asking about, we've got those. And, you know, how about like, $5, $7 each? And I was like, whoa, okay, sold. I couldn't believe it. That was so easy. So, I intend on doing that more in future when I want to get a couple of key issues of some of my favorites. And yeah, so some of these other things that were sent, a couple of really old comics, like really old. Now, these aren't genuines, and they're damaged, or hell, there's staples and tape around the edges to protect it, I guess, but they're like reprints in Australia. There's a thing called Planet Comics. I don't know if you can see it. I'll do a close-up in post. There's a Superboy album, whatever it's called, number 10, Planet Comics, and Planet Comics Superman. So look, these aren't legit, like from actual DC Comics back in the day. They're reprints from within Australia. So published by the KG Murray Publishing Company, Claremont, 142 Clarence Street, Sydney. Sequences in this issue copyright National Periodical Publications Inc. So distributor Gordon and Gotch in Melbourne. The KG Murray Publishing Company, Sydney. So these are kind of like the things you used to see on magazine racks, or just in news agencies, like in those fun kind of packs where it's just reprints of probably legit stuff, but they're just reprinted in Australia. I guess it cut costs. I don't know why that happens, but I mean, they're so old, it's cool. Like just random covers, like this one here. Superman, you must die like these 2 Supermen before you, and this crypt is reserved for me. And there's 2 other Supermen in there. Like, the comics back in the day were just so nuts, just insanity. Who were the mystery Supermen? Why were the doom bells tolling? Superman, you're dead. Dead. Like, it's so cheesy and campy. It's adorable. I gotta say though, like, I'm gonna have a proper read through later when I get a free moment. But the artwork, like, it's old style artwork, but it's cool, man. Like, the artwork back then, it's pretty on point. Like, a lot of art these days is stylized and stuff, which is awesome. Like, everybody's got their own thing. But back in the day, there was like a particular standard of artwork, like Kurt Swanish type artwork, or Jack Kirby type. Like, there was a lot of that going around back in the day. And you know, it's just cool and retro, man. And this one here, Superboy. They're alive, my real mother and father. This is obviously Clark Kent as a child. He wasn't always Superman. There was a Superboy comic, retelling his days through Smallville. Oh look, you know, it's just good fun. I'm not a massive fan of the older Silver Age or Golden Age stuff. Some of the Golden Age is pretty damn cool, just as far as this is where we came from type aspect. Like Loot Crate reprinted Action Comics #1 a while back, and I missed out on it completely, but a couple of mates out there were complete legends and sent me two. They both sent me one, so I was like, fuck yeah, I'll take them. Like, I've always wanted my own Action Comics #1. Yeah, it's probably not worth anything, but I don't really care. Like, it's a reprint, it's not legit, but it's not the point. Action Comics #1, man, that's where it all began. Superman. So I'm glad they got that part of my collection now. So these ones, moving on. None of you will probably have ever heard of these, maybe one of them. But I've taken a liking to some of these really obscure guys. One who you've probably seen in Young Justice coming to prominence a bit more, and Brave and the Bold, the Batman cartoon series, and Injustice. He's in Injustice 2. And that's Blue Beetle, the new Blue Beetle. Not the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. Like, yeah, he's cool, he's cheesy in that kind of Silver Age type way, but I was never really a massive fan of the original Blue Beetle. But something about this iteration of the character, Jaime Reis, you know, he's a Hispanic kid who happens upon the scarab, the Blue Beetle scarab, and it fuses itself to his spine and gives him the, well, not the option or the abilities, but he gets covered in a alien mech bug suit kind of thing. If you think Beetleborgs back in the day, it's kind of like that. But look, it's a really cool concept because it's like the beetle scarab is like damaged, so it's kind of, he doesn't have quite full control over it, and the scarab can kind of take over sometimes. It's kind of, you know, shorts on him sometimes, and he talks to it, so, you know, sometimes inside his head and sometimes out loud, and it makes for some, you know, humorous interactions with some of the other heroes out there. Look, it's a cool concept, man. I really dig this character. They rebooted him a couple times when the New 52 came out. There's a similar kind of origin setup. He finds a beetle, fuses him to himself. Circumstances are a bit different, and it led out into space for this alien race called the Reach, which is where these bug technology and all that kind of stuff comes from, and they interact and go to war with some of the Green Lantern and the Blue Lanterns and stuff. Like, it's pretty damn cool, man. Like, I really dug it. Unfortunately, it got cancelled in New 52. I think it was only like 12 issues in. I could be wrong. It was a good run. I wanted it to keep going, and then when Rebirth came out, we got the #1 around here somewhere. They tried it again. I think last time I heard it was cancelled at issue 18, but I think it might still be going. I'm not sure, but I liked it. But it took it more on kind of a magical route, which I didn't quite like, making the Scarab come from like magical origins. Like, you know, it brought in Dr. Fate, who's a fucking cool character, but I don't know. I just think it was better being technology based. Anyway, it's a long diatribe about this one issue, but this issue comes out of the pages of Infinite Crisis. Epic story, gotta go read it. So this is one of those new characters that comes spawned out of one of those massive events. Alright, so next up, this is more obscure than this Blue Beetle. I bought the trade paperback for this character maybe a year or so ago, and I really liked it. I I bought it because I was just sussing out some characters that I hadn't heard before or really delved into in the DC world and DC universe. And I came across this character and I read the Wikipedia on him and YouTube, some stuff. Nothing on YouTube for him really. And he sounded interesting and the artwork was pretty cool. I know it was old, like it was kind of in the 90s somewhere. But it's I bought the trade and it was good, man. I need to go read it back again to refresh myself, but I really enjoyed it. It's something very different. Grant Morrison, love him or hate his work. Grant Morrison is quite obscure and quite weird. I don't like everything he does. Sometimes it's just more off the wall for the sake of being off the wall. I don't know. It's just not quite my thing. But that's Aztec, the ultimate man. I love the suit. I just think he looks kick-ass. I like the kind of characters that kind of have some Egyptian themes in there, or kind of the more like ancient kind of civilization type design to them. Like this guy, obviously Aztec. I'm pretty sure he's a white dude. He's blonde, but the tech and the helmet and all that kind of stuff obviously goes back to kind of the Aztec civilization stuff. Yeah, I recommend sussing out this character. I think this character is going to come back in a big way, because DC Comics is kind of trying to get their diversity right without taking over the main characters, which Marvel does. DC is kind of using some more obscure characters and retooling them. So we've got new characters for more diverse people out there. You know, not to fill a quota or anything, but like just to bring more diversity in there with new characters, or just retooling old ones no one really cares about. I'll get into that more in a moment, but Aztec was cool, man. Like he was good enough to be inducted into the Justice League. Throughout this 11 or 12 issue run, Batman came to his town, and I think Green Lantern showed up a couple times, and you know he got some big shoes eventually, and he ended up sacrificing himself to defeat essentially a god, or help Superman defeat a god in World War III, which is a series I want to pick up and go through. But yeah, Aztec, man, he's got some cool powers and abilities, looks sweet, really cool character, dig it. So I had to check down the issue number 1 and just throw it in the pile with my collection. And I've got the trade, so I don't need to collect all the single issues, got the trade. So I'm going to read that again very soon. Right, so how I was just talking about DC diversifying some of their characters in their roster. This issue in particular is a really good example of that. There's 2 characters in here in particular that, besides Blue Beetle, who is, you know, of ethnic origins, he's a cool character too, by the way. I really dig him. So this one here, it's one issue with 2 characters in particular that really kind of speak volumes of what I'm saying. Justice League of America issue 21. So this has 2 characters in particular mainlining this issue. We've got the Ray and Aztec. So Aztec was one I was just talking about. However, this Aztec is a new version of the character without sacrificing the legacy that the first character had. So essentially, it's a woman this time. So it's a female. She's a woman of color, I believe they described it in the description. Who comes across the helmet, or the actual helmet comes across her, seeks her out, and deems her worthy. And she's actually a software engineer, and she manages to kind of retool the helmet to technically improve it, I guess, or at least the suit to suit her needs. So she carries on the legacy of the original Aztec, and the original Aztec managed to, as far as I understand, upload himself into the helmet before he sacrificed himself back in the old story. So he's still there, just as an AI. Like, it's only 1 issue in, so I haven't got the full idea of it yet, but that sounds just so cool. Like, I'm pretty keen on following up this story. So besides the new Aztec, who looks sweet, by the way, like, it's just far out. And being a woman, I mean, that's cool. I mean, she's pretty badass. Like, let's be real. The other character in here is the Ray. who's a gay man, if you've seen that show, sort of cop out. Who's also pretty freaking cool. Like, he looks awesome. I love the design of this character. Like, he's all about light-based powers, but he's all dark, and it just has this. It's got this cool aesthetic motive or motif, where like his body is the absence of light, but his power is all about it. And he's got this wicked helmet and jacket. Oh, I just think he looks badass. He did come and appear on DC Legends of Tomorrow, the TV show, in the recent Earth X crossover. I think he might show up in one of the later episodes as well. I don't know. He's just cool, man. And like he's gay. I think he's got some. I'm not sure if they changed the origin or his like what part of the world he's from. I haven't looked into his character too much, but I read a while ago, and it's been so long I've forgotten the story, or the key parts. But I read he had a pretty decent run. I think it might have been like a 4-issue miniseries. I can't remember when the New 52 was out, and it was cool, man. I really dug it. And I think he was from Earth 2 or something. He wasn't of our Earth. But anyway, he's a main member of the Justice League of America comic, not the main Justice League comic, but JLA. I know it's confusing. There's two different Justice League books running at the same time, but two different teams. So yeah, man, this issue in particular kind of envelops what I like that DC is doing with the diversity issue, which DC is doing it a lot better than Marvel is. Marvel are kind of rehashing their own big guns and making them diverse for the sake of it, instead of introducing new characters or reintroducing lesser known characters that no one's really going to care about if they retool for the modern day. And this issue in particular shows exactly what I like that they're doing. They've introduced new characters in other comics, but this one here just shows how you can bring back more obscure characters in a really awesome way. It's a really good issue between the two. There's some great conversation, they make a good team, a good duo. So hopefully we see more of these two in the future. I look forward to it. So in future, I'm going to be looking at picking up some trades of these runs. I'm going to shy away from more singles. I'm only going to collect like issues, like number ones or key issues of stuff that I really like. So I'm going to keep an eye on trades, which collects the whole story, so I can just read it. I don't have to wait every month for an issue. Last but not least, this big guy. This is from Will Kemp. I can't believe this. This is massive, man. It's retail price on the back here is 75 USA. So I mean, this must have come from an Aussie store, obviously, but it came in from an American publication. But it is pretty cool. I looked over it at work, and it's pretty damn heavy too. It's essentially like an encyclopedia of this particular time when this was out. I can't remember what the print date was, but it's called the Superman Files, compiled by Brainiac 5. So it's pretty sweet, man. It offers an in-depth life story of the Man of Steel from his birth on Krypton as Kal-El through his present as Clark Kent and Superman, and even onward to the future. I saw some of the artwork in here, and I think this came out towards the end of the old DC universe, because there's some artwork here from Gary Frank doing the Superman Brainiac arc with Jeff Johns, funnily enough, since I just did the video of the Brainiac trailer yesterday. So I think I have an idea of when this is out. So it's not current, obviously. A lot of stuff has changed since. Yeah, a lot of Jim Lee artwork in here. I'll put some photos up on post just so you have an idea of some of this artwork. It's freaking amazing, man. Like, this is so damn cool. It just shows like a whole rogues gallery. It's a great book to be like, someone goes, oh, Superman doesn't really have that good of a rogues gallery, and you can just be like, well, have this. This book has pretty much, Imperiac, sweet. Has like everything. Most of his villains, if not all of them, different eras. This is a good keepsake of like the time in DC Comics at the moment, at that time. I can't wait to have a proper look at this, but I want to get more shit like this, man. Like, just books that you can kind of just chill out and just read through. Like, it's not a real history book, but it's still history, man. Yeah, it's pop culture based, but shit, that's what I'm all about, man. Like, Superman Legend. Oh man, far out. Some epic. There's some New 52 shit in here. Wow, so this is actually more recent than I think it is. Let me have a look. Where's the print date on this? Must be in the index here somewhere. Right, maybe this is it at the back here. Oh, copyright 2013. Wow, cool. So yeah, okay. So it's more recent than I originally thought. 2013 is when Man of Steel came out. So actually that really makes sense for this to be out then. And Brainiac 5, he's not the evil Brainiac that everybody knows. He's the Brainiac of the Legion of Superheroes in the 23rd century with some heroes. So that's probably why he's got all the Superman files and knows who he is and what he's done. But that's cool. That's going on my coffee table out there with the rest of my trade paperbacks. Just some good reading. I'm not doing much. Yeah, look, so pretty keen, pretty cool. I just wanted, like, I know I do a lot of gaming stuff on here and not a lot of comic based stuff, but I figured, what the hell, it's my channel. I can talk about some comics if I want. And maybe some of you guys weren't aware and you can actually dig some comics. And maybe get introduced to some more obscure type comics. Not having an easy time holding some of these up. But look, it pays to go look at some more obscure characters out there, man. Like, there's some good shit out there instead of just your Captain Americas, your Iron Mans, your Supermans, your Batmans. Just look a bit deeper, because there's some really good characters that you just haven't seen before, or you never knew about, that are actually, like, very cool, if not sometimes maybe cooler than some of the big guns. So yeah, get into it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thanks for watching. I know the whole adpocalypse thing and everybody's demonetized now, but I'm still doing this as a hobby. Like, I like doing it. So, you know, if you like what I'm doing, just stick around, bruh and la. That's like bro and lady. I don't know if that works in today. I'm not hip with the young. So yeah, catch you on the next video. That's a really awkward way to end it.
Uncle Chunt'd.
Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and check out some of my other recent videos. Have a good one.